Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's officially the 4th of July. I can hear fireworks in the back starting already. I can imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow night. So, if it looks like I am, it's shaking a little bit, that's because I'm walking as I film this. Also keeping my eye on the road up ahead there. Too many times I tried to make videos while looking at the camera here and either bumped into something or I almost fell over. So I gotta keep my focus over here going. I'm gonna add a little commentary about a video that's currently trending on YouTube right now. It's a video of Rob Halford of Judas Priest kicking a cell phone out of a fan's hand. I've seen it twice already. They're doing the song Judas Rising. Rob Halford walks over to the front of the very edge of the stage and kicks a phone out of someone's hand. Flies right through the crowd and boom, lands on the floor. Now, no doubt, in a jokingly matter, that fan was screaming for vengeance after that. And I know a lot of YouTube comments from various people out there were like making jokes about it, like kicking the phone. Or, he is the phone killer. This is the phone killer. You know, they were making jokes about that a lot of times. Making a lot of references to that and other songs as well. Well, I'm going to give both sides of the story here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to give you two perspectives here. Let me sit down on this spot here and let me explain why. Now, here we go. Let me go to the pros and cons here about this subject matter. Let me go to the pro. Because this definitely needs to be discussed on a future podcast, or better yet, on a program that I mentioned a couple of times called The Classic Metal Show. There are other music podcasts out there. I think Eddie Trunk should discuss this on his program, Trunk Nation. Or there's probably this guy who calls himself Dr. Fuck. I've listened to a couple of his programs a couple of times. He's on the dot of a few things, especially with Vinnie Vincent, that idiot. So he's trying to keep himself in the spotlight, but he's doing it by the wrong ways, the wrong methods. Come on. But that's a different subject. The subject here is, you know, having your cell phone kicked out of your hand by an artist who you admire and love for the simple reason of filming them. Now, never mind the truck that's driving by. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. A couple years back, Corey Taylor of Slipknot smacked a cell phone out of a fan's hand one time when that person was on their phone. I don't know if it was recording or texting someone or whichever during their performance. Now, if you're texting somebody while the band is playing to you, and that's basically kind of considered disrespectful in the eyes of that artist. And I think probably Rob Halford felt the same way when he saw that. A lot of artists out there nowadays are, I don't know if they're getting particularly angry over cell phones, them being recorded and such, you know. But there are probably good reasons why. First of all, let me go to the fan's perspective. To that fan who was recording that may have been their monumental piece. That may have been something for them to show their husbands, their wives, their children, grandchildren, parents, grandparents, buddies at work, best friend, their friends on either Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or Snapchat. You got to consider that. This is their way to prove that, hey, I was up front row with Judas Priest, man. What an awesome time. I was right close to the metal god himself. Yeah. Andy Sneap, yeah, he was a damn good player. He's not as good as Glenn, but he's a damn good player. Give him his due. And Richie Faulkner, yeah, he fucking nailed it on those solos, man. Yeah, I got it on videotape, you know. And that momentum was just ruined by a kick out of your hand. That cell phone being. I was able to go on Facebook Live and get a few videos of both Meat Beat Manifesto and Skinny Puppy when they played in Houston in 2015 and 2016. There was no problems with the security at both those venues. Probably because they knew people would be recording it and posting it on their forms of social media, whichever it be YouTube, Facebook, and everything else that I mentioned. Now, let me give you the con side of the story here. Judas Priest is a veteran heavy metal group. And I'm sure they have seen their share of various bootlegs, CDs, VHSs, videos, and everything else out there. CDs, vinyl, bootleg performances that are on sale for twice the cost of their regular albums. But people still buy it because to them it's like a rarity, a keepsake. Keep in mind that those bootleg items, whether it's t-shirts, photos, they're depriving money out of the artists and the record labels that they record for. Like if you buy a 2-disc concert from, just say the Doobie Brothers. It's a concert recorded at some monumental show at, say, Red Rocks, Colorado. You were at that show firsthand, and you see the bootleg of that performance, and you buy it. Yay! I was at this show. You hear it? That's me in the background. Yeah, Michael McDonald. Yeah, Patrick Simmons. Yeah, Tom Johnston. Yeah, I love those guys. That's me in the background, dude. You hear me there, honey? Yeah, hear me as well. Yeah. So that's basically what the fan is thinking when they buy those. And plus, in their eyes, no record company has recorded any shows from that monumental show, so they got to have some sort of a keepsake from that performance. But however, you buying that 2-disc set of that show also means that the person who recorded that performance gets all the money when you buy it at the record store. Not the artist or the record label or the publishing company that handles those songs. And throughout the years, artists are still kind of fickle about cameras being at their shows because of the fear of being bootleg and sold without their consent. That's taking money, as I said, that's taking money out of their pockets so they can provide food for their children or new clothing or a new house and such, And there have been a lot of cases where people have really went bone shit crazy over this. Let me give you a couple examples. Frank Zappa. he bought up a whole bunch of bootleg releases, and he released them as a box set. Why? Because Zappa was not earning money from those bootleg releases. He finally got a chance to. He released it on a label called Rhino Records, as a box set called Zappa Beats the Boots. And there were all these bootleg shows, bootleg performances, you know. And the worst thing is that they had the logo from one of his many record labels, Bizarre Records, on the side there. So fans were thinking that it was an official release from his own record label. And the man had a lot of record labels. Zappa Records, Bizarre, Discreet, you know, Barking Pumpkin, you know, was his last one there. You know. I mean, you got to think about that, you know. Guns N' Roses. You remember the riot that happened in St. Louis, Missouri in summer of '91. Axl sees a guy with a camera. He says to security, get that from him, get that from him. He goes out in the crowd, hits this guy in the face, you know, does something with the camera, goes back on stage, and thanks to the lame ass security, I'm going home. Throws the mic down, leaves the stage. The rest of the band leaves the stage as well. Fucking riot incites, you know. He got in trouble with the law over there for that happening, because this was tons of damage and injuries to many of the concert goers that occurred because of that. One of his reasons why he did that was because at that time, GNR were like the biggest bootleg band out there. There were all these, you know, over 40 bootleg releases that are out there. I saw a few of them. One called Dr. Love, which was recorded it's either the Rainbow or the Whiskey Go-Go, you know, here and there. You know, and this is prior to Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 coming out. He also stated in an interview that year that when he played the song November Rain, people would be cheering because they had that song on some bootleg release. And this was months before Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 came out officially. So you kind of see the point on that right there. There are so many who no doubt that Trent Reznor and his old record label at the time, Interscope, probably lost a lot of money because people were buying bootleg performances from the Woodstock 94 show. His label at the time, Interscope Records, or his label, Nothing, probably should have get that performance on disc, you know, put them out for the fans, because that was considered whatever monumental performances in their lifetime. But instead, the bootleggers got to it first, so who knows? They probably lost a lot of money. Bands like Aerosmith and Judas Priest had numerous bootlegs out there, you know, recorded by various fans and sold at conventions here and there, you know. And most of them sound like crap, but to that person out there, it's like I said, it's a collector's item, you know. I myself is kind of guilty of this. I don't have any real life performances, bootleg-wise, but I remember these CDs of Pink Floyd remixes, various albums that they did that were remixed by an unknown artist. They claim that it's either The Orb or Trent Reznor themselves, but who knows? There were about 6 of them from my recall, and I bought them all up from this record store in Royal Oak, which sadly no longer exists. Speaking of which, at the particular record store, the amount of bootlegs compared to the official releases was staggering. Huge by the pound. I remember seeing King Crimson play live in 2001 and 2003, And one of the big rules next to the no smoking inside of the venue policy was no cameras or recorders were to be allowed. And you were frisked by security when you walked in on both shows. Why? Bootlegging. I know some people are also getting tired of, because they're trying to give you their all. They're trying to give you the best performance they can, and to them it's kind of rude and disrespectful to see somebody on their cell phone texting or messaging someone or recording their shows, so they can post on, like I said, on their whichever social media they belong. And also think of this: if you want to see this particular artist play live, you could probably go to YouTube and watch the whole concert from start to finish without paying a cent. But then again, that takes away the excitement of seeing the performance up front. There have been a lot of full concerts out there where it's Roger Waters, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, or it's this artist or that artist, you name it. Whether it's Selena Gomez or Beyonce or whichever. A lot of older generation artists today are still touchy on the subject of phones recording their shows, because they're going to think those are going to go YouTube, they're going to post the whole concert, and it's going to keep fans from spending money to see the shows that they're doing. So they're kind of, as I mentioned, still kind of touchy on that. Now, my only question is, was there any announcement? And I'm speaking about going back to the Judas Priest performance that I mentioned earlier. Were there any announcements saying that there was supposed to be no cameras or no recording allowed during the performance? Because that's one of the main rules in some of these venues nowadays. If you're recording it, it'll be snatched away, it'll be confiscated, and probably given back at the end of the show. I know Dr. Fuck was talking about that on one of his programs. He was recorded Zakk Wylde and his group, Black Label Society, in concert. It was snatched by security, and then he got the phone back afterwards. But the memory card, which that performance was stored on, was missing. Dr. Fuck was pissed off, and by the way, Dr. Fuck, I understand where you're coming from. I can understand. That has not happened with me, unfortunately, but there was a couple of people I knew who were posted about it on Facebook about that shit like that happening to them. To them, it's a monumental piece for them to cherish. But then again, as I said, to the establishment, to the artists and the security, it's a form of bootlegging. So I'm going to head back home now, because I got to get to bed. I got today off from work. Hopefully we'll probably be doing something that afternoon and evening as well. Tell you what, as I think I mentioned this earlier, I would like to ask Neely and Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, along with Dr. Fuck, to discuss this on their programs. I forgot the name of Dr. Fuck's podcast, but if I do on my next video, I'll find out for you. Chris and Neely's program is called The Classic Metal Show. I invite them to discuss this topic on their programs, hopefully this Saturday night. I'll be listening in if they do, if they get a hold of this video, if they even know about my channel and me in general. But it is something worth discussing. Okay? I'm Dr. Earl. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. He is the phone killer. Take care.